Hello and welcome. I'm Mr. Cotton and I'm here to talk to you about Year 9 options. Firstly, I would like to say that all the information you will need is contained in the options webpage, and hopefully this should answer the majority of your questions. However, if after watching this video and browsing through the webpage you have any further questions, please do feel free to contact the school office. The process for students is already taking place. They should currently be having options discussions with their tutors. In the week beginning the 7th of February, options information will be shared in lessons. This is their time to ask their subject teachers any questions and to find out more. Week beginning the 14th of February, Year 9 reports will be issued, and the deadline for preference forms is the 7th of March. So, what are the students aiming for at Key Stage 4? All students will complete GCSEs in English Language and Literature, Math, Science, RE, and in most cases a modern foreign language. Alongside this, students will choose two options from an array of subjects. National performance will be measured using the progress rate and attainment 8 figures. These are averages of a student's progress and attainment across 8 GCSEs, including English and Maths. For access to sixth form, an average score of 5, including English and Maths, will be required for a programme of 3 A-level or Level 3 courses. How will these courses be assessed? All examinations will be at the end of the course. There are no resits. Retakes are only possible in Maths and English. The grading will be on a basis of 9 to 1. There will be specific marks for spelling, punctuation, grammar in some subjects. The majority of subjects have no controlled assessments. The ones that do will be shared shortly, and some courses have non-examination assessment, and we will explain what this is. So, coursework, controlled assessment and non-examined assessment. Controlled, non-examined assessment. These are formal assessments that take place in lesson time. Controlled assessment is from 0 to 60% of the final marks. It's important that students prepare for this and understand that attendance at this particular time is really important. The subjects with controlled assessment are food and nutrition, product design, PE, health and social care, music and performing arts. Here they will do work within their lesson time that will count towards their GCSE grade. Subjects with non-examination assessment are English, geography, history and computer science. This is where pieces of work are completed in lessons that will be questioned in the exam. They are not completed as pieces of controlled assessment that are marked and add towards their overall grade. So, different types of qualification. All of the courses we are talking about here are Level 2 qualifications. GCSEs, BTECs, Cambridge National Certificates. If you're wondering how the levels work though, entry level is considered to be the lower level GCSE grades. Level 2 is your grade 4 and above, and then A level is your Level 3 grades. So the points. The scale 1 to 9 is not an exact conversion from the old A star to G. As you can see, it went from 8 grades previously, now to 9 grades. A grade 4 is considered to be a standard pass, old school grade C, with a grade 5 being a good pass. The grades you'll notice in the middle are the grades you would get for the BTEC courses, and you'll see where those grades sit. Sixth form entry requirements. An average attainment 8 score of 5 including English and Maths is what is required. That means their 8 best GCSEs including English and Maths will be added together and divided by the number of GCSEs. If that comes out of 5 and above, then they will be suitable to do a programme of 3 A-level or Level 3 courses in Year 12. So why should students choose to do the course? They should choose to do it because they're good at it and think they'll enjoy the subject. This is probably one of the most important things. It links to a career idea. Maybe they're thinking of being a certain thing, a doctor or a lawyer or a hairdresser or something in the future. They've got an idea of what they want to be, and the option links to that. It goes well with their other choices. This is less important that the two subjects sync up. Going with what they enjoy is more important. It will help them to develop their knowledge and skills that interest them. They think they might want to continue studying after Year 11, and their research shows it will interest and motivate them. There are 2 courses that don't currently study in Key Stage 3. that is business studies and health and social care. It's important that they research and look into these subjects before making the choice to follow them. Why shouldn't a student choose to do a course? It's quite common for students to choose a course because their friends have chosen it. When we get to GCSE, there are multiple classes for each subject. For example, there are currently 5 geography classes. If they're choosing geography because their friends have chosen it, the likelihood of them being with their friends for GCSE is very unlikely. Someone else thinks it's a good idea. Very often, different people have input into helping students make choices about what they want to do for their options. It's really important that the student concurs with the decisions or the options and the suggestions of other people. They have, like a teacher they have now, we don't and can't guarantee what teachers students will have when they transition to Key Stage 4, so it's really important that the subject is what they like and not just the teacher. It sounds good, but they don't know much about it. Sometimes the title of a course can be what appeals to them rather than understanding the subject content. It's important that they research, look into it and know what they're getting into. So, there are 4 curriculum pathways. They will be allocated a pathway in the next few weeks based on their prior attainment and application at Key Stage 3. We spend a lot of time getting these courses right, and it's important that students understand whatever pathway they're put on is in the best interest of getting them the best grades at Key Stage 4. The 4 pathways here: Accelerated Pathway, Core Pathway 1, 2 and 3, and we will explain exactly what those different pathways look like. Students on the Accelerated Pathway have an increased time for studying single sciences. This means a reduction in the time for English, Maths and RE. So how many lessons will there be? Per fortnight, depending upon whether they're doing the Accelerated Pathway or the Core Pathway, they will have 8 or 9 GCSE for English, 7 or 8 for Maths, 5 French or German, 4 for PE, 3 or 4 for RE, etc. etc. Plus 5 lessons for each of their option subjects. The K pathway. This pathway is defined by the fact that they're doing single sciences. All students will do one foreign language, and they will have separate GCSEs in biology, chemistry and physics, then 2 further options. The E pathway. Majority of students follow the E pathway. Here they do combined science. It still involves biology, chemistry and physics, but the courses are studied and they amalgamated to make 2 GCSEs as opposed to 3 separate GCSEs. All students on the E pathway will do French or German GCSE, and they'll have 2 further options. The V pathway has slight flexibility. This is for those students for whom they may not achieve as well with the languages course, so therefore we give them slightly more flex and slightly more choice. Here, instead of having forced to choose a one foreign language, they have a choice between French, German, history or geography, and then they have 2 further options. The I pathway is the most unique of them, and this is only for SEN students or students for whom require something slightly different. In this case they have 3 options. These options are open because to force them down any direction would be inappropriate when they are needing to achieve the best they possibly can at their given level. So we leave the options open. Only 15-20 students in a year group will follow the I pathway, and they will have separate meetings with myself in the next few weeks to discuss this. Languages. Languages are compulsory. They're compulsory because the government encourages us to make it compulsory as we go through into Key Stage 4. The languages are already chosen in Year 8. Students can choose to do 2 languages if they wish. They will have chosen one of them, and when it comes to their options they could submit and choose a second language if they wish. Sciences. I've explained a little. The triple science is 3 separate GCSEs. There is 2 exam papers in each discipline, and for the combined science it's the same things, physics, chemistry and biology, but there's just 1 unit less than what is done for the triple science course. There are 6 papers in total, and the format is as the triple, only the content is slimmed down. It's important to note that both the triple and double science can lead to A-level biology, chemistry, physics or medical science. There are no restrictions on this. It's the grades they get and their ability in science when they reach that point that will depict whether they can go on to do sciences at A level. GCSE RE is compulsory for all schools to do RE in Key Stage 4. We think therefore it's useful that they get a GCSE in it as opposed to just having a lesson a week that gives them some experience of RE and philosophy and ethics. So all students do RE. Those in the accelerated pathway will cover it over 3 lessons a fortnight. Those on the other pathways 4 lessons a fortnight. So they have 2 further choices from a wide range of subjects. Things to know: on the options preference form, students need to make sure that they list their choices in order of preference. This is because in most cases I can give students exactly what they want. In a very small number of cases, 5 to 10% of cases, there are clashes in the options and I have to make some other decisions. Knowing which is their most important GCSE is why I ask them to put them in order of preference. They must also choose 2 reserves. Because we can't guarantee place on course, it's useful to know what that would be their reserve. Courses are not filled on a first come first served basis. We would recommend options are submitted right before the deadline. The week before the deadline would be a good time to submit them. Please don't rush it, because students tend to waver a little bit and change their mind. If they submit it the first day they get their pathways, it's not going to make any difference between submitting the day before the options deadline. I don't look at the options choices before the day after that options deadline. So these are the additional level 2 courses they get to choose from. All of them are GCSEs except for Health and Social Care is a BTEC, and iMedia is a Cambridge National Certificate, and Performing Arts is also a BTEC. The rest are GCSE qualifications. However, the BTECs and the Cambridge National Certificate are equivalent GCSE courses. So there is more information on the website. There are videos on the website giving more detail as to why they might or might not want to choose a course. And if you have further questions, the email address is there. This is also in the options booklet. You can send in any questions and they'll be forwarded to the relevant members of staff. So, as mentioned, not all the courses are GCSEs. The iMedia, Health and Social Care, Performing Arts, they are all level 1-2 courses and are equivalent to GCSEs. But in addition to that, there's the Microsoft Office Specialist certification. I recommend as many students as possible do this. It's something that's valued by employers in the future, and they work out as 6-week courses that are done as 6 sessions after school, and we'd recommend as many students as possible do it. So the EBAC, we do not force students to do the EBAC. People may have heard it mentioned in the media. It's because universities, the Russell Group universities, suggested that actually those students that have these particular qualifications to a high level seem to do better and seem to be able to engage better with the degree courses that they do. If students do this, they don't get a qualification at the end of it, but it's just something that the government thinks is a good thing for students to do. So I've mentioned a little bit about attainment out and progress out. This is how it is worked out. They're double weighted for English and Maths, so effectively they add together their top 8 GCSEs, they double weight the English and Maths and divide it by 10, and that gives the floor standard that we are judged against. Quick one on age of participation. All students have to continue in school, in education in some form until their 18th birthday. That can be school, college, home education, work-based learning, apprenticeships, training, but they have to have some kind of education continuing until they're 18. So the process: all forms need to be completed by Monday the 7th of March. I will then draw up the option blocks in response to their choices. If there are any clashes, of which there will be very few, I will consult with students and with parents, and any changes will be confirmed in writing. Although they have submitted reserved choices, you are not held to account on this. You don't have to take them. You can take other choices if you so wish at that point. If you don't hear anything, that's good news, because anybody who does have any clashes will be contacted in the first few weeks after that options deadline. In June, I'll pull together the final groups, and we recommend that they get their choices right first time, because I do not make changes in September. I say this, have made 1 or 2 this year in exceptions, but I've also refused changes in September, which can be difficult for students who've realised that they don't want to do a course, but it's not possible to change after the content has been taught and they're behind in one subject and ahead in another. So what do they need? They need to make the right choice for them. They need a desire to do well, excellent attendance. This is really important at Key Stage 4. Any lost attendance can mean a significant impact on their grade. Regular consistent effort in all their non-examined assessment, any coursework, any controlled assessments, and in their examinations. There is a careers advisor in school, Mrs Baker. The priority lies with our year 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s. However, if any students are desperate for a careers appointment, Mrs Baker is contactable to be able to do that. The best way to do that is for a student to speak to their tutor, and the tutor can advise how to get in touch with her. There's also, over the next few weeks, they will get some careers advice within their tutor lessons. They will be directed to some websites on decision making skills, Which Way Now, Fastermind and Kudos, that again can help direct them where they want to go with their choices. So to finish off, there's a few people I can speak to: their form tutor, their subject teacher, Miss Jennings, Mr Bailey, Miss Baker, or myself. All the information is on the website. The options preference form that you have to fill in by the 7th is completed online. So if you go to the options book or to the Year 9 options page, there is a link to that preference form, and you'll just complete that from there. You click through. The options pathways will be released at the beginning of February. That is the point at which you can actually complete the preference form. From then, a password will be sent with that letter to tell you how to access that preference form. There are a couple of websites that you might be interested in if you want to have a look a little bit on choosing subjects, some case studies, and some other bits and pieces that you might be interested in, so please feel free to have a look at those as well. As I've said, if you do have further questions beyond this, then please send an email to the email address shared here, and you'll be able to she'll direct that email to who it's supposed to go to. Thank you for listening.